Feierst kill intact. The stars stretched like brilliant pinpricks against the vast canvas of space as the Galactic Union exploration vessel Horizon glided through the darkness of an uncharted sector. Captain Lyra Varen stood on the command deck, her four-fingered hands clasped behind her back, violet eyes fixed on the main view screen. Her species, the Zinthari, were known throughout the Union for their analytical minds and disciplined approach to exploration. Captain, we're detecting unusual energy readings from the third planet in this system, announced Science Officer Krell, his reptilian scales shifting from green to blue with excitement. The pattern suggests artificial power generation, but this sector is supposed to be uninhabited. Lyra's antenna twitched with interest. Put it on screen. The view screen shifted to show a blue-green world, swirled with white clouds and capped with polar ice. It looked remarkably Earth-like, though according to Union records, no spacefaring civilization had claimed this system. The energy signature doesn't match any known technology in our database, said Krell, his clawed fingers dancing across his console. But there's something familiar about it. Commander Jorax, Lyra's second-in-command, joined them at the view screen. The hulking Drakkari's armored exoskeleton clicked softly as he moved. Pirates. Smugglers, he suggested. This region is beyond regular patrol routes. Unlikely, Lyra replied. These readings are too consistent, too established. This isn't a temporary outpost. She straightened. Decision made. Prepare a landing party. We'll investigate directly. 3 hours later, Lyra led her team through the shuttle's airlock. Besides Krell and Jorax, she had brought along Dr. Ilara Nixon, the ship's cyanoanthropologist, whose translucent skin glowed faintly with bioluminescent patterns, a trait of her aquatic species. Rounding out the team was Security Chief Tavik, a stocky humanoid whose reinforced endoskeleton made him nearly impervious to physical harm. The landing site was a clearing surrounded by towering trees with silver-blue leaves that sparkled in the sunlight. The air was rich with oxygen, filled with the scents of vegetation and soil. Mountains rose in the distance, their peaks capped with snow. This planet is remarkably similar to Earth, noted Ilara, consulting her scanner. Nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere, compatible gravity, similar day-night cycle. The flora shows some unique evolutionary paths, but the basic biochemistry would be hospitable to Earth-based life. Movement at the tree line, announced Tavik, hand moving to his sidearm. 6 figures emerged from the forest, walking in formation. As they drew nearer, Lyra felt her heart skip a beat in surprise. They were unmistakably human, but humans shouldn't be here, not in this uncharted region thousands of light years from Earth or any known human colony. These humans wore clothing made of some shimmering fabric that seemed to shift colors with their movements. They carried no visible weapons, but moved with the confidence of those who felt no threat. One of them, a woman with dark skin and silver-streaked hair, stepped forward. "Welcome to New Eden," she said in perfect standard Union, the common language of the Galactic Union. "I am Director Amara Chen. We've been expecting visitors for some time." Lyra's antenna flared in surprise. "I am Captain Lyra Varen of the Galactic Union vessel Horizon. How is it possible that humans are living on this planet? The nearest human settlement is over 3,000 light-years from here." Director Chen smiled. "Our ancestors arrived here 300 years ago, Captain. We've been watching your ship since it entered our system." 300 years, Ilara interjected. "That's impossible. Humans didn't have the technology for long-range colonization back then. And this system isn't on any star charts." "That was by design," Chen replied. "Perhaps you'd like to come to our settlement. We have much to discuss." The settlement was unlike anything the Union team had expected. What had appeared as simple energy readings from orbit revealed itself as a technological marvel on the ground. The buildings seemed to be grown rather than built, seamlessly merging with the surrounding landscape. Transparent tubes carried water and other fluids throughout the community. Gardens flourished everywhere, producing fruits and vegetables of vibrant colors, and unusual shapes. Most striking were the inhabitants themselves. They moved with unusual grace and purpose. Children played in a central square, some of them appearing to manipulate small objects without touching them. One young man was tending to a garden, his hands hovering over plants that visibly grew and bloomed under his attention. What you're witnessing is the result of 3 centuries of purposeful evolution, explained Chen as she led them toward a large central building that resembled a giant crystal dome. Our ancestors were scientists, geneticists, and visionaries who rejected Earth's limitations on human advancement. Inside the dome, a circle of seats awaited them, arranged around a holographic display showing the planet and its surrounding space. Several other humans joined them, introducing themselves as members of the colony's leadership council. "You must understand," said an elderly man who introduced himself as Dr. Marcus Rivera. "Our ancestors fled Earth because they believed humanity was stagnating. They had developed technologies and techniques to enhance human potential that were deemed too radical, too dangerous by Earth governments." "What kind of enhancements?" asked Krell, his scientific curiosity fully engaged. In answer, Dr. Rivera gestured to a young woman sitting across from them. Without a word, she raised her hand, and a sphere of water lifted from a nearby fountain, hovering in the air before them. It separated into dozens of tiny droplets that danced in complex patterns before rejoining and returning to the fountain. "Telekinesis," Jorax rumbled, his armored plates clicking in agitation. "Impossible." "Not telekinesis as you might understand it," Chen corrected. "We call it bioenergetic manipulation. Our ancestors discovered that human consciousness could directly interface with the quantum field under certain conditions. They developed genetic modifications that enhanced this natural capacity." Lyra felt a chill run down her spine. Such abilities were the stuff of myth, not science. "This is why you've remained hidden," she said. "If the wider galaxy knew." "Precisely," Chen nodded. "Our ancestors believed that humanity needed space to develop these gifts naturally, away from fear and exploitation. They found this planet, established our colony, and erased all records of their journey." As night fell, the visitors were shown to guest quarters within the crystal dome. Lyra found herself unable to sleep, her mind racing with the implications of what they'd discovered. She stepped onto a balcony overlooking the settlement, now illuminated by soft bioluminescent lights that seemed to grow from the structures themselves. A soft voice spoke behind her. "Troubled, Captain." Lyra turned to find Director Chen joining her on the balcony. "This discovery raises many questions," Lyra admitted. "The Galactic Union has protocols for first contact scenarios, but nothing that covers finding an advanced human colony where none should exist." Chen leaned against the railing. "And what do your protocols say about us?" "That's the problem," Lyra replied. "By all rights, I should report this discovery immediately. But I'm not certain what would happen if I did." "Would your union see us as a threat?" Chen asked, though her tone suggested she already knew the answer. "Some would," Lyra acknowledged. "Humans already hold significant influence within the Union. The discovery of enhanced humans with abilities beyond normal evolutionary patterns would cause concern." Chen nodded, gazing out at her community. "Tomorrow, we'll show you more of New Eden. Then you can decide what information returns with you to the stars." The next morning, the visitors were taken on a tour of the settlement's outskirts. They witnessed humans working alongside native wildlife, massive 6-legged herbivores that resembled a cross between an elephant and a giraffe, helping with heavy lifting and transportation. The animals seemed to respond to subtle gestures from their human partners, no verbal commands necessary. "We've developed a symbiotic relationship with many species here," explained a colony biologist named Dr. Elijah Okafor. "Our enhanced neural capacity allows for rudimentary communication with higher animals." Krell was fascinated, taking readings constantly. "The implications for xenobiology are staggering," he muttered. "This contradicts everything we understand about interspecies communication." As they reached a research facility built into the side of a mountain, Alarms suddenly blared throughout the settlement. Chen's communication device activated, projecting a holographic display. "Status report," she demanded. "Seismic disturbance in Sector 7, reported a voice. "The mineral extraction site is destabilizing. We have 12 workers trapped underground." Chen turned to the visitors. "I apologize, but we have an emergency. You're welcome to return to your quarters." "We can help," Lyra interrupted. "The Horizon has emergency equipment that might be useful." Chen studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Thank you. We'll take any assistance you can offer." The situation was dire. The extraction site had partially collapsed, blocking the main access tunnel. Life signs indicated the trapped workers were alive, but running out of breathable air. The colonists had already mobilized a rescue operation, but they were struggling to clear the debris safely. Lyra contacted the Horizon, ordering emergency excavation equipment to be shuttled down immediately. As they waited, she watched a group of colonists standing in a circle around a young man who had his hands pressed against the mountainside. "What are they doing?" she asked Chen. "Ren is a sensor," Chen explained. "He can extend his consciousness through solid matter, creating a detailed map of the cave system and locating the trapped workers." She paused. "It's taxing work. The others are supporting him, sharing their energy." Before Lyra could ask for clarification, the young man stumbled back, caught by his companions. "I found them," he gasped. "Secondary chamber, 200 meters in. The passage between is completely blocked, but there's a natural fissure running parallel that nearly connects. If we could widen it." A woman stepped forward. "I can do it." Chen looked concerned. "Zara, the precision required." "I can do it," Zara repeated firmly. "Guide me, Ren." The Union team watched in astonishment as Ren and Zara placed their hands on the rock face. Sweat beaded on their foreheads as they concentrated. Slowly, impossibly, the solid stone began to vibrate, then shift, creating an opening where none had existed before. "They're manipulating the molecular structure," Krell whispered, his scales flushing with excitement as he studied his scanner. "Somehow accelerating natural erosion processes to create a controlled collapse." The rescue operation continued through the day and into the night. The Union team worked alongside the colonists, using their technology to supplement the settlers' abilities. When the Horizon's excavation equipment arrived, they managed to create a stable passage to the trapped workers. Hours later, exhausted but triumphant, rescuers and rescued gathered in the settlement's central plaza. Despite their ordeal, the freed workers appeared remarkably uninjured. "Our bodies heal more quickly than unmodified humans," explained Dr. Rivera when Ilara commented on this. "Another gift from our ancestors." As the celebrations wound down, Lyra found herself once again in conversation with Director Chen. "Your people did things today that should be impossible," Lyra said quietly. Chen's expression remained serene. "Not impossible, just beyond current understanding." She studied Lyra carefully. "So, Captain, what will you tell your Union about New Eden?" The revelation. The morning after the rescue, tension filled the air aboard the Horizon. Captain Lyra Varen had called her senior officers to the ship's conference room to discuss their discovery and determine their next course of action. The holographic display at the center of the table showed rotating images of New Eden's settlement and its inhabitants. "This discovery goes beyond our standard protocols," Lyra began, her antenna tilted forward in concentration. "We found a human colony thousands of light years from Earth, established centuries before humans were supposed to have deep space capabilities." "Not just a colony," interjected Krell, his scales shifting with excitement. "A society of enhanced humans with abilities that defy conventional science." Commander Jorax's armored plates clicked as he leaned forward, "which makes them a potential threat to galactic security. Union regulations are clear. Any civilization with capabilities that could destabilize interstellar peace must be reported immediately." Dr. Ilara's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with disagreement. These people saved their own with minimal casualties in a situation that would have been catastrophic for most colonies. They showed restraint and precision with their abilities. They're not warmongers. Security Chief Tavik, who had remained silent until now, finally spoke. Intent aside, their capabilities present a strategic concern. Humans already hold significant influence within the Union. Enhanced humans with these abilities would upset the balance of power. Lyra listened to the debate, weighing each perspective. The discovery of New Eden represented both opportunity and risk. The scientific advancements alone could revolutionize medicine, agriculture, and countless other fields. But the political implications were equally profound. What if Earth doesn't know about them? She asked suddenly. The room fell silent. What if this colony was established in secret? Lyra continued. Director Chen mentioned their ancestors rejected Earth's limitations. What if they fled? Krell's eyes widened with realization. That would explain why they're not in any records. They didn't want to be found. All the more reason to report them, Jorax insisted. Rogue human elements with supernatural abilities. Not supernatural, Krell corrected. Their abilities appear to be based on manipulating quantum fields through enhanced neurological structures. It's extraordinary science, not magic. Lyra raised a hand, silencing the debate. Before we make any decisions, we need more information. I'm going back to the surface with a small team. The rest of you continue analyzing the data we've collected. Back on New Eden, Lyra sought out Director Chen, finding her in a laboratory filled with floating holographic displays showing DNA sequences and brain scans. I need to understand what we're dealing with, Lyra said without preamble. Who exactly were your ancestors, and why did they come here? Chen studied her for a moment, then nodded. Follow me. She led Lyra deeper into the facility, through security barriers that seemed to recognize Chen at a genetic level. They entered a circular chamber with a central pedestal, supporting what appeared to be an ancient data crystal, technology that predated modern quantum storage by centuries. This is the Legacy Archive, Chen explained. It contains the complete record of our founding and the vision of those who brought us here. She placed her hand on the crystal, which illuminated in response to her touch. A holographic figure appeared, a woman in her 50s wearing an old-style Earth uniform with insignia Lyra didn't recognize. Her expression was serious, but her eyes held unmistakable passion. I am Dr. Eleanor Reyes, Chief Geneticist of the Prometheus Project. The recording began. If you are viewing this, you are among the descendants of our expedition to New Eden. This record exists to remind you of our purpose and the dangers we fled. The hologram shifted, showing scenes of Earth from centuries ago. Laboratories, protests, military forces. By the mid-22nd century, humanity had begun to understand the true potential locked within our genome. Dr. Rice continued. Project Prometheus represented the culmination of decades of research into human enhancement, not through crude cybernetics or mechanical augmentation, but through unlocking the latent potential within our own DNA. Images showed test subjects performing feats similar to what Lyra had witnessed among the colonists, though less refined. We discovered that human consciousness could directly interface with quantum fields, what some might have once called psychic abilities. We developed genetic modifications that enhanced this capacity, allowing limited manipulation of matter, energy, and even organic tissues. The hologram's expression darkened, but our discoveries frightened those in power. When military applications were demanded, most of my colleagues complied. I and others refused. We saw a different path, not weapons, but evolution. Not soldiers, but pioneers of human potential. The scene shifted to show a massive spacecraft under construction in what appeared to be a hidden facility. Using resources diverted from the project and technologies developed in secret, we built our Ark. 300 scientists, engineers, and volunteers who shared our vision, along with embryos containing our enhancements, departed Earth on a journey to this star system, selected for its isolation and habitability. Dr. Rice's hologram returned, her expression now hopeful. We erased all records of our destination. As far as Earth knows, we vanished in a catastrophic accident. Here, beyond their reach, we will build a society where human potential can flourish without fear or limitation. The hologram gazed directly at the viewer, but we are not naive. One day the stars will find us again. When that day comes, remember our purpose, not dominion, but evolution. Not power, but potential. The message ended, leaving Lyra and Chen in silence. Now you understand, Chen said quietly. We didn't come here to hide a weapon. We came here to preserve a possibility, a different path for humanity. Before Lyra could respond, her communication device activated. Captain, came Jorax's urgent voice. We're detecting a Union cruiser entering the system. It's the Vigilant Enforcement Division. Lyra felt a chill. How? We didn't send any transmission. Unknown, but they're hailing us and demanding our status report. Chen's expression grew concerned. What does this mean? The Vigilant is a security vessel, Lyra explained grimly. They enforce Union regulations in disputed territories. Someone aboard my ship must have sent a coded message despite my orders. And now they know about us, Chen concluded. Lyra's mind raced. The Enforcement Division was notoriously inflexible about potential security threats. If they classified New Eden as a rogue colony with dangerous capabilities, we need to return to the horizon immediately, Lyra decided. I'll try to handle this diplomatically. Chen gripped her arm. Captain, my people have lived in peace for 3 centuries. We've developed our abilities for creation, not destruction. But if threatened, her meaning was clear. I understand, Lyra assured her. Trust me. Back aboard the Horizon, Lyra confronted her officers, who contacted the Vigilant. Tavik stepped forward. I did, Captain. Union Protocol 47B requires immediate notification when encountering advanced technology that could alter the balance of power. You bypassed my authority, Lyra said coldly. I followed Union law, Tavik replied without remorse. These enhanced humans represent a potential threat that requires proper assessment. The communication system chimed. Captain Varen, came a stern voice as the view screen activated to show a severe-looking Caridian officer. This is Commander Draz of the Vigilant. We've received concerning reports about your discovery. Prepare your data for immediate transfer and stand by for our arrival. Commander, Lyra replied carefully. The situation is complex. These colonists are peaceful researchers, Vo. We'll make that determination, Captain. Draz interrupted. Secure the area and await our arrival. Vigilant out. As the communication ended, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Multiple vessels launching from the planet's surface, reported the sensor officer. Small craft, dozens of them, surrounding us in formation. The view screen showed sleek vessels unlike any Lyra had seen before, clearly of human design but incorporating technologies beyond standard Union capabilities. A new communication came through. Director Chen's face appeared on screen. Captain Varen, we've detected another vessel approaching. Is this your doing? Not by my choice, Lyra admitted. One of my officers contacted them against my orders. Chen's expression hardened. Then you leave us no choice. We've maintained defensive capabilities. Despite our peaceful intentions, we won't be taken from our home or treated as specimens. Wait. Lyra raised her hands. There's another solution. Hours later, Commander Draz's shuttle docked with the Horizon. The Caridian officer strode onto the bridge, flanked by security personnel, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the ship's lights. Report, Captain, he demanded. Lyra stood tall. We investigated unusual energy readings and discovered a previously unknown settlement. After thorough analysis, we've determined it's an automated research outpost, abandoned centuries ago. Draz's compound eyes narrowed. Your officer's message indicated enhanced humans with extraordinary abilities. A misinterpretation of sensor data, Lyra replied smoothly. The facility contains advanced automation and environmental systems that created unusual readings. Security Chief Tavik mistook these for signs of enhanced biological life. She gestured to the view screen, which showed recordings of the New Eden settlement, subtly altered by Krell's technical expertise and the colonists' own technology. Where once there had been humans demonstrating remarkable abilities, now there were only cleverly disguised automated systems and holograms. The vessels we detected, Draz questioned. Automated defense systems, Lyra explained. They activated when we approached but stand down once recognized as non-hostile. Ancient technology, fascinating but ultimately harmless. Draz studied the recordings, mandibles clicking in thought. I want my own team to investigate. Of course, Lyra agreed. Though I should warn you, the facility's defense systems are keyed to our biosignatures now. A new group might trigger additional security protocols. After hours of careful negotiation, Draz reluctantly accepted Lyra's report, classified the planet as an archaeological site of minimal strategic importance, and departed, though not without warning that random inspections might occur in the future. Once the Vigilant had left the system, Lyra contacted New Eden. It worked, she informed Chen. The deception held, but it won't last forever. Chen smiled. It buys us time, and perhaps more importantly, it gives us an ally. Not just an ally, Lyra replied. Someone who understands what you're truly trying to achieve here. In the days that followed, as the Horizon prepared to depart, agreements were made. New Eden would gradually reveal itself to the wider galaxy, not as a colony of enhanced humans with extraordinary powers, but as researchers studying ancient technology. The truth would remain hidden until both sides were ready for it. On her final day planetside, Lyra stood with Chen on a hillside overlooking the settlement. Your ancestors came here to ensure humanity could evolve beyond its limitations, Lyra observed. In hiding their greatest achievement, they may have limited its impact. Perhaps, Chen acknowledged. But they also protected it until humanity was ready. She turned to face Lyra. Are we ready now? Lyra considered the question. The galaxy was vast, filled with species of incredible diversity and varying levels of development. The Galactic Union had been created to maintain peace and foster cooperation, but fear still drove many decisions. Not yet, she admitted. But soon, perhaps. And when that day comes, New Eden will have a voice in the stars. She extended her four-fingered hand, which Chen clasped firmly. Until then, your secret is safe with us. As the Horizon departed the system, Lyra watched the blue-green world recede on the view screen. She had altered official records, defied regulations, and hidden the truth from her superiors. All actions that could end her career if discovered. Yet she felt no regret. Somewhere on that distant world, humanity was writing its next chapter, not through conquest or power, but through understanding the true depths of their own potential. And one day, when the galaxy was ready, that knowledge would change everything. End.